Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters. I'm your host Mitch, glad to have you here. Here at the Commander's Quarters, we're all about Commander on a budget. Today we've got an episode of Break the Bank. On episodes like this, we're going to take one of our Commander's Quarters decks and up the budget to $100. Sometimes you just love a deck so much that you're willing to put a little more into it to get those upgrades. And these same rules are going to apply for our overall deck cost. So shipping will be included in the price, commanders at $10 or less are going to be included, and basic lands will not be included. Decks on this channel are built to be fun, inexpensive, and focused. If you want to learn more about what a focused commander deck is, check out this video here. On this deck tech, I'm going to take you through its strategy, the tactics, and how this deck wins. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. And while you're at it, subscribe and review our podcast as well. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCGplayer affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support. Today's Break the Bank comes to you courtesy of Getsu the Warlock, a Golden Pig tier patron. Getsu has been supporting this channel for over a year now. I truly couldn't do this without amazing patrons like Getsu. So today we're going to break the bank for Getsu's deck on Ishkanah Grafwidow. If you haven't seen that episode yet, I highly recommend checking it out first. But if you've already seen it, then let's get into it. So let's get things started off with what's in. With this upgraded budget, what things are we bringing into the deck? First up, let's add a Metallic Mimic, which when it comes into play, we're going to choose Spider, so then it's a Spider. And it's going to make each other Spider we control enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. The Ishkanah deck tech was focused around Spider, Tribal, and Anthems, and this does both. We're also running Adaptive Automaton, which is somewhat similar. When it comes into play, we're going to choose Spider, so then it's a Spider. And it has other Spiders we control get +1/+1. So again, basically these are both just two Spiders that also act as Anthems. One does it with counters when those creatures come in, and the other one just does it with a regular Anthem effect. Next up, there's Arachnogenesis, which can be a fantastic way to get a ton of Spiders at once. It says put X1/2 Spider creature tokens with reach onto the battlefield, where X is the number of creatures attacking you, prevent all combat damage that we dealt this turn by non-Spider creatures. Chances are pretty high our opponents aren't going to be playing Spider Tribal, so we're going to get a ton of tokens when someone swings out at us. Again, this is basically a one-sided fog that gives us a lot of tokens. Another way to get a lot of Spiders into play, though, comes with Kindred Summons. It says choose a creature type, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards of the chosen type, where X is the number of creatures you control of that type. Put those cards onto the battlefield, then shuffle the rest of the revealed cards into your library. With the number of Spiders that we're going to have in play, this gets us an absurd amount of Spiders at once at instant speed. But then let's also add in Zendikar Resurgent, which is an enchantment, and it says, whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of any type that land produced, and whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. So this essentially doubles up our land's effectiveness, which can help with our commander's activation. And with that extra mana, we can also cast more creatures to draw some cards. Next up, let's talk about some Anthems that we're adding in the deck with Vanquisher's Banner, Obelisk of Erd, and Door of Destinies. When Vanquisher's Banner comes into play, we're going to choose Spiders, and then Spiders get +1/+1. And then whenever we cast a Spider, we draw a card. So this is not only an Anthem, but it's also a card advantage engine. Again, we're running a ton of Spiders in this deck, so this can provide us a ton of value. And then Obelisk of Erd has Convoke, and when it comes into play, we choose Spiders, and then Spiders get +2/+2. So we can cast this for very cheap, and it's going to pump our Spiders quite a bit. But Door of Destinies can pump our creatures even further. When it comes into play, we choose Spiders, then whenever we cast a Spider, we put a charge counter on Door of Destinies. Spiders are going to get +1/+1 for each charge counter on Door of Destinies. So basically, the more Spiders that we cast, the bigger all of our Spiders get. With this upgraded budget, we're also going to upgrade some of the lands, starting with Bojuka Bog. It may come into play tapped, but when it enters, we exile all cards from target player's graveyard. This is just a great incidental way that can really throw a wrench into one of our opponent's plans. And then Tainted Wood can tap for our colorless, or it can tap for either of our colors if we control a swamp. With our ramping and fixing and the number of swamps that we're running, chances are we're going to have a swamp. Next up, there's Temple of Malady, which when it comes into play tapped, and it lets us scry 1. Scrying for 1 isn't insignificant, and this is just a strict upgrade to some of our other lands. Next up, there's Ash Barrens, which has basic land cycling for 1, so we can discard it to get either of our basics, and this can really help us with fixing our mana early. And then we've got 2 lands that can ramp us with Mirrored Landscape and Blighted Woodland. Mirrored Landscape comes into play tapped, and it taps for a color, so we can pay 2 and tap and sacrifice it to search our library for up to 2 basic land cards that share a land type and put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle our library. Blighted Woodland can tap for a color, so we can pay 3 and a green and tap and sacrifice it to get 2 basics into play tapped and shuffle our library. So Mirrored Landscape can only get a swamps or forest, but Blighted Woodland has the option of getting either. Regardless, well, they're fantastic lands that ramp us in this deck. But since we're adding some cards in, we've got to take some out. First up, let's take out Sentinel Spider, which just isn't as impactful as some of other spiders. And then Acid Web Spider can be good in the right situation, but it can also be a dud if no opponent has an equipment. Next up, we're taking out Return of the Wild Speaker because we added in some much better Anthem effects. It does have the option of drawing us cards, but the amount of cards can really vary depending on what we have out in this deck. Speaking of drawing cards, we're also taking out Promise of Power and Collective Unconscious. With additions like Vanquisher's Banner and Zendikar Resurgent, we've got just some better incidental ways to draw cards. We've also got some more powerful Anthem effects now, so we're also going to be taking out Heraldic Banner, Gaia's Anthem, and Dragon Throne of Tarkir. These aren't bad anthems by any means, but the ones that we're adding in are just much more effective in this deck. And of course, since we added some lands in, we've got to take some out, so we're going to take out 4 forests and 2 swamps. And now that we've gone through every single card in this deck, let's do a quick price check. A quick reminder that our deck costs are calculated using TCGplayer optimization, optimizing with even heavily played and damaged cards because those cards need a home too. The average Ishkanah EDH rec deck is going to set you back $176.10. Even with all the upgrades, our deck is still more affordable, coming in at $99.12. Again, the price of this deck is the price that I got for it on the day that I'm recording. If you want to see a breakdown of this deck's cost, check out the link in the description. Keep in mind that prices can and will fluctuate and change over time. But with these deck costs, I want to be as transparent as I possibly can. And now it's my turn to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know what you think about this deck and what you think about the commander in general. And make sure you're following us on social media for more updates and sneak peeks on future episodes. Again, a huge thank you to my patrons who help make this show possible. I truly couldn't do any of this without your support. If you want to support this channel directly, consider becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, including being able to vote on future commanders for deck techs. There are even tiers where you get your own personalized deck tech dedicated to you. You can check out all the Patreon tiers and rewards at patreon.com/commandersquarters. If you haven't already, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Here at the Commander's Quarters, we're all about budget commander. So while you're at it, go ahead and check out some of our other types of episodes. And with that, I'm out of here. Thanks again and have a good one.